Hello, friends and family, and welcome to the 2023 LWS Open at Idlewild, presented by Dynamic Discs and The Natty. Coverage brought to you by Run Productions. This is a Disc Golf Pro Tour Elite Series event. My name is Holly Finley.
And I'm Raven Klein. We're so glad you guys could join us here. We're in Burlington, Kentucky. Really fun to be back. I know a lot of players enjoy this track after Ledgestone, so this should be a really fun event.
Idlewild is my favorite stop on tour.
What makes it your favorite stop on tour?
I think it's a really rewarding course to play. The lines are not easy to hit, but when you do, it just feels amazing.
That makes sense. It definitely has the rewards there. First on our card, we have Sai Ananda. So she didn't actually play Idlewild last year, so I'm sure she's really excited. And then Missy Gannon. So we've got our 2023 Ledgestone winner coming back, and she tied for second last year.
Hanna Huynh got 15th last week and 21st last year at this event. Rounding out today's card, Ella Hansen, third last week at Ledgestone, and she got 4th last year at this event.
This should be a really fun card to watch on this track.
Here we are, hole 1, a 638-foot par 4 to start out. A lot of field to air it out. You do have out of bounds on the left, so you don't want to hyzer too aggressively in that direction. Off the tee, you're hoping to get between 300 and 400 feet, leaving yourself with a short upshot, hopefully around 250 to 275. A lot of players are able to throw a mid or a fairway into the bullseye, hopefully getting themselves a look
First
at it.
up in our 935 pairing from Spokane Valley, Washington, Sai Ananda.
First up, Sai. Ripping a hyzer. Looks to be landing into a safe position. She should be able to play for a birdie from there.
Next to the tee from Beacon, New York, Missy Gannon.
The nice thing about this hole is even those trees on the right, I mean, it looks like Missy might have gotten a little bit too much, but you do have a good amount of space to throw kind of a straight to pushing hyzer.
Spokane, Washington, Hanna Huynh.
And I'm most likely going with a king.
Turns it over down the hill a bit, but it's fine though. You do have out of bounds
Rounding out
over
our
there, but
935
I
card from
rarely
Seattle,
see
Washington,
anyone get
Ella
to the out of
Hansen.
bounds on the right side.
I saw Ella practicing this, and she really does try to get a lot more distance by throwing a slightly less stable on that big turnover shot. That's gotta hold.
Yeah, this is scary because it could hyzer out to the out of bounds on the left. Oh, and it's done just that. But the thing about that is she got so far down the fairway, I mean, she could still get it up there and possibly save a par.
Sai in the position that a lot of players find themselves with what you said about that 250 hyzer in. She pushed it too far, and she's going to be in that bush for circle 2.
Yeah, she cooked the upshot. That could be a challenging pitch up, too. And that tree, I'd say, is really the one thing you've got to contend with when you're trying to get a clean upshot into the green of hole 1.
Missy looks like she's just playing a controlled shot. Gonna leave it just shy of the circle. Easy par. Possibly still a birdie for Missy. Ella, with a smooth approach there, gets herself inside the circle.
Oh, this could be tricky.
Probably not the first branch people will battle for the rest of this round.
You don't see this from Sai very often. Well done, well done. That's a working woman's par. Missy Gannon's putting for birdie. This is a hefty birdie look. It's a brave bid on the first hole.
That is a brave bid. The hill slopes off behind the basket, and I have seen rollaways from there.
Ella can save par.
And she does. It's a nice start for her, even with the OB, being able to save that par. Sai taps in her par. And she'll be followed up by Hanna and Missy with their pars. So they all took a different route, but pars across the board. Moving on to hole 2, we have a 509-foot par 4. This is actually shorter than it was last year. They moved the pin off the tee. You're trying to throw either a forehand or something that's going to have a nice turn, getting you around this hill. Your second shot, hopefully, you have to clear the creek with, usually it's about a 200, you can maybe have a 300-foot shot hyzer into this hill, but the green gets really fast and you see a lot of players OB on this left side.
Sai up first, and that angle is a bit aggressive. She's getting a cut roll to the left side.
Whoa.
She got lucky. The tree saved her. They've actually painted the left side out of bounds this year. In previous years, you could sort of just bail out over there and it would just make it a difficult hole, but now you're OB if you go left. Missy got lucky.
Yeah, you can see her reaction. She was happy about that. Hanna with a smooth shot. A very common landing place is this kind of pile of rocks on the right side and makes your footing extremely difficult for the second shot.
Ella sends that to the corner. I'm not sure if it's going to hyzer back in, and it does.
Wow.
She didn't like the looks of it, but it worked out in her favor. And from here, Ella could lay up or be aggressive and go all the way over the out-of-bounds water, which she is choosing to do.
Beautiful shot.
Is safe. Putting for birdie. Oh, this is a very difficult position. From here, Sai is probably best just to lay it up close to the sidewalk, pitch over, and play for par. From there, it'd be easy just to like skyzer it, you know?
Yeah, definitely. And I think you'll see a lot of players, you get that weird footing and it's just not worth going over with this being a par 4. It's a nice shot from Missy.
Sure is. Not an easy one either. Hanna Huynh has one of the best standstill games I've noticed in our division, playing with her over the last several months.
It's very solid. Sai from her layup here should have a very simple approach. Or maybe short is a better word. Simple is up to you.
More of a turnover angle, going against the grain of the hill, and she's on the chips.
I like that shot shape for this because you really don't have to contest with skipping down the hill off of a hyzer.
Missy Gannon for birdie. It's in.
Great putt for Missy. And a birdie for Hanna. Ella having to straddle around this tree.
Oh, no.
Oh, Ella.
And it was just awkward enough, and her putt hit the cage, rolled OB, so she's going to re-putt from the same lie, which is actually way shorter than if she were to walk it in from OB, and it's in for the bogey.
I feel like players sometimes forget about that rule, especially when it's a roll-away situation, because you're usually so bummed about it that you start walking down. But it's a very viable rule.
Very smart of her to have that in her pocket and able to pull it out under a pressured moment.
So 2 birdies on the hole.
Welcome back, hole 3, 656 feet, a par 4. This is actually a new hole for us as of last year. The tee shot's a big one. Get it as far as you can off the tee. If you can turn it to the right, that would be a bonus. Your second shot, again, is going to be fairly long, between 3 and 225 feet, more than likely, getting you up here close to the circle, possibly looking at a birdie. It's a very tough hole. Very tough birdie get. Let's see what Missy Gannon has for us. She's hit the main gap, but she pulled it a bit right. It kicked off a tree, went left, and now she is out of bounds.
That is a very common mistake when we have this backhand turnover line, is people try and get that right, and there's 3 or 4 trees that'll just shoot you all the way left.
Hanna Huynh had a really nice hyzer flip that turned over into a bit of a cut angle, but she's safe.
That was probably a really nice branch there for Sai. Looked like she was fading over down the hill.
Parkour.
I think for the players who have the power sidearm, I really like that for this hole. Ella pushing that a little too straight and catching the tree.
First up is going to be Ella with her second shot. She didn't make it over the hill, so now she's going to have to play for par, just getting as much distance as she can on this second shot.
Nice.
Good position. This is Missy Gannon's third shot after going out of bounds off the tee.
Nice that she missed those tree branches there.
Hanna Huynh second shot, another standstill.
Oh, taking the inside line.
Yeah, she was going for that direct low route under the branch, going really close to the mando tree. It does cut off a lot of distance for your second shot. Oh.
Sai also opting to take that right side.
Wow, that worked out great for her. You just don't see that very often.
No, especially not twice on the same card. Ella with her third forehand, breaking through that tall grass. That really is your last wall. And they grab a lot of discs.
That's Missy's fourth shot. And she's going to have about a 70-footer for bogey.
Nice shot by Hanna. Didn't quite get the turn on it that she was looking for, but not in bad position at all. Beautiful upshot there by Sai. And Hanna not trying to get too risky with that basket on the hill. And she'll have a tap in.
Missy for bogey. And even though Ella was a bit short off the tee, this is her chance to save par. Looking to put it in, get a 4.
Beautiful putt.
Well done, Ella Hansen. First run back of the day. Nice little stepper, saving par from about 50 feet.
When she gets a chance to have one of those step putts where she has to have a little hyzer angle on it, I would bet on it 9 times out of 10. And Missy, unfortunately, after that OB and slightly errant approach, she'll be tapping in a double. Hanna will be tapping in a bogey.
And Sai with a nice clean par, par, par.
Moving on to hole 4. This is our first par 5 of the day, 722 feet. Your first shot, you just want to clear this water and you want to hyzer out a little bit more if you can, because your second shot, if you're lined up perfectly, you can go through this gap. You'll see a lot of players just laying up short so that they have a much easier approach with this being a 5. Once you get across, hopefully you have a putt for birdie. You have all of water OB and then left side road.
Sai sends a hyzer shot over to the right side, and it is coming back into the fairway. That looks good. I'm waiting for someone to get a big max distance shot off the tee. Try to get an eagle here.
Yeah, and today was great weather for it. We didn't have a lot of wind. This has potential. That's a great shot from Ella.
She wasn't greedy with the distance, though.
No, she definitely could be way greedier.
Way further. I mean, I'm landing at the birdhouse. She could be much further than that.
I think that's one of the interesting things to see with holes like this, being a par 5, because you've got that top of the field that can have a look at eagle, more than one of these rounds, but there's no one really has the need to be that greedy until the final day.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, there he is.
Look at this. Look at him. I'm a snake. I'm a
Sneaky snake.
Oh, look at his tongue. Look at him.
Oh, I love it. Holly and I played together today, and we saw a very, very tiny snake. But that guy was great.
Oh, that was fun. So Sai opting for the most common play for the second shot, just a short little chip. And a lot of players will land short of the woods, but you can actually push much further into that little wooded area, and it does progressively slope downhill towards the OB pond. So you need to be conscious of the speed going
Hanna
into
went a
it.
little bit right there, but
Yeah.
I agree. There's probably close to 30 extra feet into the woods, right where Missy is going.
And it's better to land left than right.
Yes, a lot more open and a couple less trees for you to battle on that next shot.
Look at Ella's caddy, part of the Pro Tour
It was Bill.
crew, Mr. Bill.
Looks like she's going for it.
This is Ella Hansen's second shot through the main
Oh, that's
gap.
beautiful.
It's up there, and she can putt it for eagle. Oh, I said I wanted to see it.
Well, here we go.
Thanks, Ella.
Now she's just got to convert.
And from here, Sai's looking to make it over the pond. Give herself a putt for birdie.
Nice turnover shot from Sai. She looks like she'll still be outside of the circle, and it is an uphill, but Missy with the most direct lineup with that gap. She caught the branch, but didn't do too much damage, and she'll be inside the circle.
Didn't it look nice and open from where Missy was?
Yeah.
And Hanna didn't like her position, so she has laid up yet once again, which was a very smart move.
That was a very high disc golf IQ right there.
And this is a course that really rewards you for smart play over greed, much like Northwood's Black from last weekend.
Sai leaving that a little bit low on her putt.
Ella Hansen for the Schmiegel.
Come on. Oh, Ella. Dang, and you know she wanted that bad too.
Missy Gannon for the birdie.
Nice putt there by Missy. The one nice thing is that Ella will still have a tap-in birdie.
Hanna Huynh has the dustiest chalk bags I've ever seen.
I know, I wonder...
If any of y'all use chalk bags, you should get the one that she has because that thing is extra dusty.
It really is. She makes full clouds. Ella with her tap-in birdie. Always interesting when you're frustrated by a birdie.
What a day. What a day to be
what
alive.
A life.
Wow, so no harm there. We got 2 birdies and 2 pars.
Everyone's
and a chance
sitting
at
at
an eagle.
even.
Hole 5, par 3, 334 feet. It's only 334 feet, but it's a risk-reward shot. A lot of players will just keep it safe, pitch it up, take the par, move on to the next one. But if you're feeling froggy, get it as close as possible and take you a putt on this elevated basket that might be a little windy.
Yeah. And you'll always have fans watching this hole.
Ella up first. Oh, a giant hyzer. She's got so much distance she
that
can
got slapped down.
waste it in the air. It sure did. I can't throw mine all the way. I mean, I wasted all my distance swinging around, you know?
Yeah, and I like that play.
I do too.
If you give it enough height, like Missy, this is a nice shot from her. And you just let the disc fade with the hill and
Yes.
you avoid too much extra skip.
Missy's got a 36-foot putt at birdie towards the water. Sai really sent that into the air.
Yeah, taking the same route, she'll be up by Ella. Both of them seeming to just catch some wind there, and it just pushed the disc down and didn't really let it finish the glide. Pretty much everyone on this card opting for that route. No one is getting risky with the water. But Hanna able to push that a little bit further down the hill.
We'll see if anybody's willing to give it a run. Kind of asking a lot from Sai.
This is a hard one because the layup, it's not a very easy layup.
It isn't an easy layup.
No, Ella executed that perfectly.
She
but
did.
If you give it too much height, you have the error where you roll away or the disc stands up and rolls OB. And if you don't give it enough height, you fall short and you still leave yourself with a death putt.
We all know Missy Gannon can make that. She didn't even want a taste of it. And Sai shorted her upshot. Now she's going to have to work for this par. Ooh, scary putt. Nope. Little short on it. It's hard to commit to that one.
Yeah, and it's interesting because she and Hanna both had similar spots to lay up from, and that was a great putt by Hanna.
Heck yeah, it was.
Beautiful. But those are your two options. You either have a roll away, and now you have a 20-foot uphill, or you go short, and you have a death putt. Looks like we'll take the roll away today.
Yeah, and even if you lay it up, sometimes you can clip that tower and it'll roll you away. I don't know what she was doing there.
She just saw, but she was excited about it.
I actually caught a fish in that pond 2 days ago.
Very nice. Was it a big fish?
No, just a little 4-ounce guy.
Moving on, we have hole 6, par 4, 555 feet. Your main goal off the tee is to get just over this hill if you can, but having it land with the grain so that you're not cut rolling. Along the entire left side is an OB creek, and your second shot, most players are trying to fall just shy of where the creek crosses in front of the basket so that you can give yourself a long putt for that maybe birdie. You'll see a lot of sidearms off the tee and turnover backhands. Ella opting for the forehand.
I like the look of it so far.
That's a good shot, getting just to the edge of that hill.
And the ladies are actually playing the long tee this year, the same tee as the men. In previous years, we played the shorter tee. So this is a new hole for us, essentially, with a new drive.
A beautiful shot there from Missy, pushing just past where Ella's sidearm got.
If you land anywhere near that big tree, you have had a premium drive.
This is one of the errors here with the backhand. Hanna turning it over just a little too much. Luckily, that curls up and stays in bounds. And she'll have a hyzer approach.
And that's cutting too early out of Sai. She clips the tree and gets caught up there on the high right side. She could still par from there, not out of the question.
Yeah, it looks like she'll be going similar disc stability because she still has to get around that corner. Catching that high tree on the left, and she does fall into the OB creek.
That's a heartbreaker. This is Hanna Huynh's second shot, opting for a standstill.
Ooh! Just clearing all those trees and then getting a nice kiss off the last one. She might even be clear to take a long look at it.
Sai's fourth shot. She's going to have to make a long putt for a bogey.
Ella in a good enough position that she just goes for the jump putt to get her to putting position. I actually like that. There are many times where I'll use a step putt approach instead of throwing a putter or a mid like 150 feet just because I feel like the accuracy is there.
Oh, me too, absolutely.
Yeah.
Missy Gannon, she easily could have chipped that right onto the green, but the strategy that Raven mentioned, you just lay it short and take a putt. Ooh, Hanna tries to throw it in.
Everybody's loving it. Seems like they have a nice energy on the card. Sai giving that a little bit of a run there, but falling short, curls up around the basket. Ella with a long putt, leaves it low. She's in the circle. There are a couple greens like that here, where the basket is separated with these little rock walls.
Ooh, Missy popping right over the nubs for a birdie here on the 6th. Do our second run back.
There's a great putt there from Missy, getting one of only 3 birdies on this hole for the day, along with Valerie Manduhano and Holland Hanley.
Sai makes the putt for her double bogey.
Ella with the nice par putt. That got further away than I realized it did.
It did.
It did not look that far. Nice putt there from Hanna, and she'll grab her par.
And so far, Missy Gannon, the only player under par here on this FBO Chase card. Here we are on hole 7, a par 4, 400 feet, and the ladies are playing a shorter tee, which again is newer to us this year and last year. Off the tee, sidearm players will have an advantage, or if you're really good at backhand turnovers, landing right about here. That'll give you a short upshot into the green, hopefully sneaking up into the circle, getting a look at a birdie 3. This does play as somewhat of an island, so if you do not make it safe inbounds off the tee, you must proceed to the drop zone. Missy Gannon up first. Sidearm off the tee. And
yeah, it's a very interesting one because you can hit a tree like that and then still be safe before you've crossed. Oh, another tree and safe landing. Wow. So same tree, third safe landing.
Sai hits the gap,
There we go.
turning over nicely into the landing zone.
That is a beautiful
Oh,
shot.
she even got up the hill. That was primo.
Oh, no high five for Bill.
Oh, Bill, I'm sorry. This is Missy's second shot. She's just going to where her first shot should have landed.
This one's interesting too because the drop zone is just a straight shot up this hill. So where Hanna landed was almost in a good spot. Ella throwing that low. Yeah. And releasing out wide. So she's not going to be in good position for her third shot.
And Hanna Huynh opting for a sidearm. It gets the angle a bit wrong and it cut rolls over to the rough. That could be a tough par save.
Oh, and I think this is the
here?
whole, they found some barbed wire on the tree. But that was not previously stated in the tournament.
Well,
So
you can see the tree is like it's grown into it in certain spots.
yeah, and so she did not get a full 2-meter relief like you might get in some tournaments for barbed wire. Barbed wire.
Burr.
Barbed wire.
Oh, look at this.
Oh, that was inches from being beautiful.
That could have been there. Looks like Hanna might have to play for the bogey. And this is Missy Gannon's third shot. She can sneak up there. She could save par.
That is a nice shot from Missy.
Ella's third from the right side rough.
Beautiful.
Forehand in the circle. She's putting for par. And this is Sai's second shot. This is one of the best drives I've probably seen on this
Wow.
hole in quite a while.
Yeah, that was beautiful. Well executed.
Sai really does specialize in turnover shots if you've been watching her this season.
A great shot there from Hanna.
Chandler Fry walking along, showing some support to the ladies.
He's always out there. It's so nice. Ella with the long putt.
Ella's just tapping the cage on a couple of them. Feels good to be online, but feels better when they go in.
Definitely. And that one seemed a little bit more left than her other ones. Missy with a great par save here on 7. Nice putt to finish. And Ella with the bogey.
This is Sai for birdie after an incredible drive.
Yeah, that is a really nice birdie to get.
And that's her first birdie of the round. She actually got a double on the last hole and a single bogey on the hole before that. So getting her first birdie of the round has got to feel great. After that, still we have Missy Gannon, the only one under par.
Here we are at hole 8. It is another par 5, 576 feet. A lot of people aren't trying to get that greedy off the tee, so you'll see maybe a slightly less stable disc that they pump out the gap. Your second shot tries to get you to the top of this hill. Third shot, you'll either see forehand approaches or some turnover, and then it can be a really tricky green. If you come in too fast, you'll see a lot of players having to putt out of that rough behind the basket. I haven't really seen any players do it. I know that the shot shape could be a forehand flex, but we just don't have a lot of players that power through that.
Sai cuts hers too early and hits the inside set of trees. Missy sneaks right around him with a nice low shot, barely over the crest of the hill. But she's in a great position.
Oh,
this could be the shot
speaking
you're
the
asking
devil.
for.
Do it! That looks really nice. Please be what I was talking about.
Well, there it is.
Yes!
She did that for me earlier.
Oh, I love that.
Told her I wanted to see an eagle look, and she just gave it to me.
So she's listening. Ooh, I really like that play that Hanna just went with, kind of flipping up something a little bit faster to push. Mm-hmm. But if you go too flippy, that tree catches almost all of them.
So Sai's looking to get to the position where her drive would have landed. Looks to be pretty good. Hanna's second shot. That was a good looking sidearm from her.
Yeah, very smooth.
Missy's in a great position to push maximum distance all the way up that tunnel, shortening her third shot.
Beautiful.
Loved it. Sai's third shot.
Well, that was a great throw.
Wasn't it, though? It could be tricky. This is one where the closer you get to the left or right edge, it just gets so much more difficult.
Ella trying to go for a forehand up that gap, but really just doesn't put enough on it, and it hyzers out.
Her forehand is just a bit off aim right now.
Yeah, which you don't see as often with her. Hanna releasing that over into the right side rough.
Let's see if Ella can get up there to the green. And again, she just clips a tree on the way there.
That right side is very small comparatively to the, I guess, envisioned left side fairway, the one they plan for you to take.
And as I mentioned, just the closer you get to the left or right side, the harder it is. Really, sometimes it's better to have a shorter shot, stay in the middle, than to try to get more distance and end up on the left or right. Everyone's still just kind of chopping their way up to the green at this point.
Yeah, Hanna with a nice out of the woods. And Missy sliding her way up inside the circle.
Ella's still trying to make her way to the green, opting for another forehand.
She kept that one lower, and it did hit a tree, but looks like it kind of stayed right there versus kicking all the way right.
Oh, we must have missed Hanna's shot there.
Sai kind of under turning that. Looks like she didn't really commit her wrist to it, but she'll be close to the basket. Ella did hook up by that tree, but leaves her putt low.
And as Raven mentioned earlier, this green is fast. Missy's in for birdie. And if you go past the basket, it drops down a little bit. You can end up under those bushes, and then you don't have a putt at all.
Yeah, it's very obstructed in there.
Hanna.
Nice putt by Hanna to save her bogey.
Just have a bit of a disappointment on the body language from Hanna. Win after the bogey. And Sai will have to settle for another bogey, although she looks pumped to make the putt.
And Ella making her putt for bogey as well. So Missy really gaining strokes on that one with a birdie.
Only 6 birdies on the day here on hole 8.
So the slammer, it doesn't fly as far as the harp, but that's exactly what I designed it for. It was designed for me to be able to throw hard with the real severe angles, a lot of flex shots, and it's a unique spot in the bag. So that's why I think it's becoming so popular.
Welcome back to hole 9, excuse me, a 258-foot par 3, downhill over to the right side. This is a really tricky hole. Often it makes you think you need to do more than what's actually necessary. You can simply just throw straight with a slightly nose down angle and get yourself a circle putt. If you're trying to ace it or park it, give it a bit of an Anheuser angle. Forehand players will also have an advantage here. If you kick off the fairway, left or right, it could be a very tough par save. Missy Gannon up first. Perfect turnover angle going right to the green, and she's caught up in those trees, but she can still putt for birdie from there. Going to be a downhill 40-footer, it looks like.
I really like this hole, and I love the turnover angle. Sai turning it a little too much too early and catches a tree. I think the forehand players have a little bit of an edge on this hole. Ella cutting it tight, though.
She misses her line again, but
yeah.
got lucky.
But the forehand players, if you get all the way down there, you stay by the basket. Mm-hmm. Whereas if you get all the way down there on a backhand and don't hit something, you're going past the basket by like 60 feet.
Missy's the only one that hit the real fairway. Hanna Huynh got caught up. This is her second shot from a standstill. And she's given herself a par putt from about 50 feet.
Just on her way to the next hole.
Just drop your bag off.
Sai with a nice approach there. Well done.
Love the touch on that.
Wonder if she's going to give it a bid? No, not today.
The ceiling was a little low.
There are a lot of low branches that make it tough. Had she been on the left side of those trees, she might have had a look for it, but that would have been a very risky putt.
Missy Gannon for birdie. Oh, a little left, no connection for her.
And this one's tough because it does slope down the entire hole.
Hanna Huynh to save par. She gave it a run, but again, the branches are a bit low around the basket. Oh, bogey. I'm
dang.
sorry. Missy's par putt falls out right side.
And Ella making good on her par. Very smart to lay up from up there. Hanna with a bogey. And Sai with a par.
Really good scramble out of Sai on this hole.
Yeah. And that's an unfortunate bogey for Missy.
Yeah, the putt kind of fell out. And that's it.
That is going to wrap up our front nine of the first round of Idlewild. Missy remaining the only player on the card to be under par.
Idlewild showing a bit of its teeth here on the front nine. Let's check into the leaderboard after a couple of holes. Valerie Manduhano and Madison Walker hanging out in first place.
Yeah, really nice to see it. A solid number of players under par, at least on that top. And I'm sure it'll continue on that back nine.
Appreciate you guys tuning in to this coverage. And if you'd like to support me, Holly Finley, you can head on over to pharmacbd.com. Use code Holly for 20% off all Pharma CBD products.
And if you want to support me, you can go to Dynamic Disc website or Another Round and purchase any of my Tour Series discs. Thank you so much.
Yeah, also on the Another Round website, you can choose little mini stamps. You can actually add Raven's logo and my logo to any disc you purchase. It doesn't have to
you
be
can add two to a disc.
two for one.
It's perfect.